Hello and welcome, Pokemon fans. There are those who call me Bardbreaker, and it's time for another Sunday Pokemon Challenge run. Last week, we were able to beat our way through Pokemon Platinum by way of just a single Cherubi, and that was surprisingly easy for quite a lot of it. Let's try another interesting one. Today, we're going to do a run that my boyfriend has been absolutely begging me to do, so let's ask and answer the question, can I beat Pokemon Silver using just a Smeargle? At first glance, Smeargle looks pretty bad. Because it is bad. An overall stat total of just 250 puts it in the same vein as Spinarak and Bidoof. Our speed is passable, but everything else is trash. Especially our attack and special attack. Only 20 points for each is ridiculously low. That puts us on par with Pokemon like Abra and fucking Metapod. That's just brutal. But there is kind of a good reason for those low stats, so take a look at the moveset and you'll see why if you don't already know. Smeargle has both the most diverse and the most shallow moveset in all of Pokemon. It can't actually learn any moves by TM and HM, and it only learns Sketch by level up. That's a move that it learns 10 times in fact, making it one of the few Pokemon that can actually learn not only the same move more than once, but it is the only Pokemon that can learn the same move at least 4 times. But what is Sketch and how does it give us the most diverse move pool? Well, it permanently copies the last move used by the opponent. So if a Pidgey uses Gust on us and we use Sketch, we permanently copy Gust into our moveset until we delete it or override it with another move. So this gives Smeargle the ability to learn virtually any move. In fact, in Generation 2, the only moves it can't copy with Sketch are Sketch itself, Struggle, Mimic, Transform, Metronome, Self-Destruct, and Explosion. Although in later generations, several of those moves were also made sketchable. So this run could both be labor-intensive, but also pretty fun with the diverse moves that we can pull from. We do have to be careful what we copy though and when we do it, because we only get 10 chances to do so, and there are no move reminders in Gen 2 to let us get a Sketch back. At this point, like always, I remind you guys that I haven't actually started playing yet, and that this script is being written as we go. So at this point, I actually don't know how well we're going to do. Comment down below and please the almighty Algorithm, God of the YouTube algorithm, and let me know whether you think we can do it or not. I think we've got a pretty good shot at this, but it's going to take some work and careful use of our moves to make sure we get the ones we need. With that in mind, let's go over the rules. In combat, we can only use Smeargle. I'll need other Pokemon for HMs, but I can't use any of them in combat. I won't be using any items like potions or X-attacks in battle, although held items and items outside of combat will be allowed. Lastly, we won't use any cheats, glitches, or exploits. So let's begin. So right away I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Smeargle so that we're going to be doing the whole run with it. This also gives our rival Cyndaquil, and thus they'll wind up with a Typhlosion and have the highest stats for a final form. We get our Smeargle and nickname it Steve. Okay, look, I've never claimed to be good at nicknames, and if I usually play these for fun, I don't ever bother with nicknames, so we're just going to deal with me being bad. In any event, we set off to find Mr. Pokemon. I actually avoid any wild battles because while we do need to sketch a move, we're actually too fast to do so. Unfortunately, Sketch isn't a reduced priority move, so if we go first, we waste the only power point we have for it and are reduced to using Struggle. So we're going to have to wait until we find someone with a higher level Pokemon than us for us to be able to sketch anything. This is probably the first time I've ever started off a run by intentionally avoiding getting any XP. So we're stopped by Tim, and I'm honestly not sure I've ever lost this opening fight before, but we do. Our only option is to waste our one sketch on nothing and then try to struggle. We actually come close. Had one of his tackles missed, we'd have done it, but we go down from our recoil damage and lose the fight. But apparently it's not mandatory to win, so we're able to progress ahead. After reporting back to Professor Elm and completing Package Delivery Simulator, we're finally able to set out on our quest. We're still faster than everything, so I skip any battles that I can since we don't actually want to level up just yet, because that's going to raise our speed, and we need to be able to sketch something or we're never going to get this run going. We do have no way around this bug catcher though, but we're able to throw away the sketch and then struggle down his bugs. Once we slink past him though, we make it into Violet City and head straight for the gym. The first trainer has a level 9 Spearow which knows Peck, and it's going to be faster than us. Sure enough, it hits with Peck, allowing us to sketch it. Now we have Peck in our arsenal and can finally grind some levels. Having a flying move will also make Sprout Tower much easier. At level 15, we make an attempt at Faulkner. There's not too much to talk about as we only have the one move. We peck past Pidgey relatively quickly and it's on to Pidgeotto. Pidgeotto keeps going for Gust, and fortunately we're able to get in one last peck and win the fight with just 1 HP remaining. Nice. I make my way through Union Cave and get into Azalea Town. After clearing out the Slowpoke well, it's time to take on Bugsy, and yeah, we're just not there yet. Even though we're 7 or so levels higher than his team, we just aren't making the cut. Our stats are brutal, and they're really going to hold us back this run. While we don't get a same type attack bonus using Peck, it is still a super effective move, which means double damage, but we're just not getting the job done. So I go grind another level and make another attempt at it, and that combined with a berry, where apparently all I needed is we're finally able to get past Bugsy on the 5th or 6th attempt. You'll note that I have another sketch ready to go. I have a very specific move I want to get with that, so let's see if we can get it. So on our way out of Violet City, we have to fight Tim, and we're just not ready yet. We make a few attempts and we're just not doing enough damage. Let's get a few levels. While leveling, I catch a Hoppip for Flash later, nicknaming it Flashelius the 15th, long may she shine, as well as an Ekans for Strength later, nicknaming it Bicepticus the 15th, long may he lift, and a Spearow for Fly later, nicknaming him Flapsidia the 15th, long may he fly, before we reach level 25 and attempt our battle with Tim once again. And at level 25, apparently that was all we needed, because now that we're at that level, all we have to do is peck our way to victory. Maybe it was good confusion luck or good burn luck, but either way, we're able to reach the Quilava in good shape to withstand a lot of its embers, and we're able to peck it down and finally move past our rival Tim. We rescue the wayward Farfetch'd and get the HM for Cut. I actually realized that I never caught anything to use Cut with, so I go back and get a Bellsprout for Cut, nicknaming it Snipticus the 15th, long may he cut, and proceed through Ilex Forest and make our way to Goldenrod City, a city that I will always question the design of. I don't know why, maybe it's just because it's a vertically oriented city, but I just think it looks terrible. North of town, we make our next major sketch. This random trainer has a Marill which finally decides to use Rollout. We quickly make a sketch and now have a pretty beefy move in our arsenal. Rollout is a rock type move that hits up to 5 consecutive turns, doubling in power each time it hits. I was planning to sketch it off of Whitney's Miltank, but this works too. I know Smeargle stats are abysmal though, but even a max power rollout is still going to hit with a base power of 480, so we should still be able to hit pretty hard regardless of what we're up against. Speaking of being up against things, her Clefairy is out first and goes for double slap and we get a rollout going. After a couple of hits it goes down easily enough. Next out is her famous Miltank and we hit it hard with a rollout as she tries to get one of her own going. Fortunately our next one hits though and we're able to take it out. With that we're up to level 30 and here's our stats at level 30. Not great. We're going to get another sketch soon though, so let's see what we have to work with. After defeating Whitney, we head north of town, and there are actually 2 skippable trainers here, both of whom have moves I want to sketch. There's a Fire Breather at the end of this route that has Magmars, which should know Fire Punch, a move I'll desperately need for later against Jasmine. There's also this girl here with a Pikachu, and it knows Double Team. I decided to use my level 31 sketch on Double Team because this may be my one and only chance in this entire run to actually learn the move. I'm not sure if any more trainers I have left to face this run have it, and most of what can learn it by level up I can't encounter at a high enough level in the wild for those Pokemon to have it. The wiki does a good job of showing you the attacks of Pokemon in key battles, but it doesn't show you what all the individual trainers have, just their Pokemon but not the attacks listed. I know Double Team Cheese can be annoying run after run, so I'm going to try hard to avoid using it as much as I can. This is mostly just to future-proof the run for later, since this may be legitimately our only chance to learn the move right here, and if I find out I'll need it later, it'll be too late. Remember, we only get 10 sketches, and we have to make them count. We can skip the Fire Breather for now though, so we leave him be. Once we get our level 41 sketch, we'll come back and get it. We make our way up to Azalea Town and decide to take on the Ghost Gym before the Burn Tower, and honestly it's not very hard. We actually just have to set up a rollout going against Morty's Ghastly and that's all we need. Everything goes down to rollout and we're in business. Another badge down. We have to grind a couple levels before taking on Tim at the Burnt Tower though, but eventually we try again at level 36. We just set up a rollout and roll our way to his final Quilava. At this point we go ahead and set up a second rollout since it's super effective against fire, and we're just able to take down the Quilava before we lose our HP from the curse that his Haunter so graciously set up at the start of the fight. After that, it's a quick jaunt down to Olivine City, and after collecting the HM for Strength and the Good Rod, we fish up a Chinchou for Whirlpool, Surf, and Waterfall later, nicknaming him Aquades the 15th, and proceed up to the lighthouse to find Jasmine. She tells us she's too busy to battle until we play another round of Package Delivery Simulator, but before we can do that, we actually have to go back to Violet City to get the HM for Surf, which we forgot to get from the Kimono Girls. At level 41, we learn Sketch again, and it's time to replace Peck. I'm going to replace both Peck and Vine Whip at some point, but with a lot of surfing coming up, I feel like Vine Whip's going to be more useful in the immediate future than Peck. We go back to the road north of Goldenrod City and finally battle the fire trainer Walter. We stall out some time with Vine Whip on his Magmar before it finally uses Fire Punch for us to sketch. After we sketch it, we finish up with Rollout, but now that we have Fire Punch to help deal with Jasmine and her Steel Gym. We next have to surf down to Cianwood City to collect the secret man juice that we need to deliver back to Jasmine. She blindly trusts our word that this secret juice is what she needs, but apparently it works. Good to know. With her trust secured, it's time to go burn her gym to the ground. Magnemite is up first, and we land a Fire Punch for big damage. It survives and attempts a Thunder Wave, but misses. I'm told this is a problem in Gen 2 where status moves have a built-in chance to miss when the opponent uses them. In any event, we land another Fire Punch to finish the job. Next up is another Magnemite, which again survives a Fire Punch and this time lands Thunder Wave. We've equipped a Paralyzed Cure Berry though, and we're able to finish the fight on the next punch. Steelix is out last, and we do about a third of its HP with a single Fire Punch. After some back and forth between Iron Tail and our Fire Punch, Jasmine using a Hyper Potion, we're able to barely squeak by thanks to a lucky burn bringing down the Steelix. With this badge in hand, we can finally proceed on. I decide to go up to Mahogany Town next and take care of the Lake of Rage shenanigans as well as clearing out the Team Rocket hideout. Afterwards, we grind a bit until we get to level 51 and learn another sketch replacing Vine Whip. Now we go into the fight against the Ice Gym leader Price. We're saving sketch for Piloswine, so our only option is to use Fire Punch over and over. Dugong gives us some trouble with its rest, but we manage to just squeak by and get to the Piloswine. We run out of Fire Punches though, so I start burning through double teams until Piloswine finally uses Blizzard, the move we've been waiting to sketch. I thought about sketching Aurora Beam, but I wanted something that was going to hit hard, and Blizzard hits for nearly twice the power of Fire Punch, and should be very useful later against the Elite Four. It's only 70% accurate in Gen 2, so not as good as it used to be, but it works. With Blizzard in hand, let's go back down to Cianwood and see how well we do against the Fighting Gym now. Chuck, the Fighting Specialist, has just 2 Pokemon. Our first Blizzard misses and Primeape gets off of Fury Swipes. Our next Blizzard hits though and we bring it down. Poliwrath is last, but it resists all of our moves due to its water fighting type. We get a lucky freeze on Blizzard, but of course Chuck has a full heal right as we get a rollout going. Rock is weak to fighting though, so it's not doing very much damage, and we actually get Hypnosis right before we're about to knock it out. Fortunately, we wake up quickly and are able to take down the Poliwrath and earn our 7th badge. After this, we get to take care of some more Team Rocket shenanigans in the Goldenrod Radio Tower, and on our way we have to have another fight with Tim. But it's really not hard. We mow over his entire team with ease. We make our way into Blackthorn City, and it's time for the Dragon Gym. As expected with Blizzard, her Dragonairs are a one-shot sweep. Her Kingdra takes a bit of work, but after a Blizzard and rollout building strength, we get past it too. Now that we have all 8 badges in hand, Victory Road is an easy walk with no strength boulders in this generation, and it's time for once again another rival fight with Tim. And it's an easy one-shot sweep right up to the Typhlosion. We have to get a couple rollouts going due to a miss, but we weather his Flame Wheels well enough and take him down without much trouble. Now it's on to the Elite Four. Will takes numerous attempts thanks to the Slowbro being a brick wall, but we finally get past him. Xatu starts the fight and we take him down with the Blizzard. We set up our rollout next on the Jinx. Exeggutor comes down and takes out 2 rollouts and gets a Leech Seed off, but Slowbro comes out and takes our 5th rollout to go down. Last out is his second Xatu, which goes down to a Blizzard, and there we go, that's the fight. It took a while, but we finally did it. To no one's surprise, Koga doesn't pose much of a challenge. Ariados takes 3 rollout attempts before we finally get the hits needed to take it down. Venomoth goes down in a single hit. Fortress is next and uses Protect to disrupt our rollout, but goes down to a quad-effective Fire Punch. Muck is next and goes down to a Blizzard with some Fire Punches despite its minimize attempts. Last out is his Crobat, and we've been toxic, so we're on a clock, but we land our Blizzard and take him down. In what is a surprise, or at least an unforeseen obstacle because I didn't think about it, is Bruno. We have to take several runs at him due to our weakness to fighting types. Hitmontop is first, and it fortunately just seems content to keep burying itself in the dirt with Dig, so we use the time to set up our double teams. I had hoped to avoid using it, but we really don't have a chance without it. We get our 6 double teams in place and take out the Hitmontop with a Blizzard and some Fire Punches. Hitmonlee is next, and we set up a rollout which eventually takes it down in 4 hits, leaving the 5th to take out Hitmonchan in 1 hit. Next out is his Machamp, which knows Vital Throw, which bypasses accuracy and evasion checks, so we have to take it down right away. Blizzard isn't strong enough, but thank God we get the freeze and can start whittling him down with Fire Punches. Bruno uses a Max Potion and we get another lick in before Machamp thaws. We land with another Blizzard, and by the grace of Algoris, we get another freeze. Machamp goes down by the grace of Algoris, and we're up against our last Onix. We don't have any Blizzards left for it though, so we have to resort to a rollout. Fortunately, the Onix isn't doing a ton of damage to us, and all of our rollouts hit, so we take it out. Whew, that was rough. And Bruno usually isn't. Those freezes on the Machamp were essential because even a critical hit from Blizzard wouldn't have taken it out in 1 hit. And it wouldn't have mattered if we would have stacked 15 double teams, Machamp still would have hit with Vital Throw. We get to Karen, and boy does she live up to her moniker. It takes a lot of attempts, and of course we win on the one my boyfriend suggested we use double team. We only use it once though, and from there we get some decent luck with our evasion and a lucky freeze on the Umbreon. From there, it's an easy rollout sweep to the rest of her team. We have to set up another rollout on the Murkrow, but it's weak to rock, as is the Houndoom, so that's all we need for the victory there. We use our last Ether on Blizzard again and head into the champion Lance. And Lance you think would be easy given that we have Blizzard, but he actually takes a few attempts, mostly due to bad accuracy luck. Gyarados is first, and we get a rollout going, and in 3 hits he goes down. Dragonite is next and takes the 4th rollout for a one-shot. Another Dragonite is the victim of our 5th rollout, and Aerodactyl is next and goes down to a Blizzard. Charizard's out next and is double weak to our Rock rollout and goes down in 2 hits, and out comes his last Dragonite. It survives our 3rd stage rollout and hits hard with Outrage, and we barely survive on the skin of our teeth with 3 HP to land the next round of rollout for the win. Whew, that was close. But there we go, folks. We've beaten the champion and are in the Hall of Fame with just Smeargle. So it is possible to beat Pokemon Silver with just Smeargle. That being said, the game isn't over. They crammed a whole second game on these cartridges, so we have to play through Kanto now and try to get to the secret final boss Red. Most of Kanto in Generation 2 is uneventful though, so if all goes well, I'll see you back against Blue in the Viridian City Gym. After some brief trouble along the way, we get into Viridian City and against Blue. We used our level 71 sketch to replace Fire Punch with Thunder. Fire Punch is a serviceable move for sure, but we have Blizzard to deal with grass types, so we don't really need Fire, but we do need more power. We have to make a few attempts, including using 6 double teams, something I had really hoped to avoid, but eventually we get the evasions in place and it's actually not a very difficult sweep. Obviously that tends to go without saying when you use 6 double teams, but there was no other way. Most of his team is weak to either Thunder or Blizzard, so it's just a matter of having the evasions in place so that we can survive. Our stats are terrible, like I've been saying, and there's really no way around this. We could get to the Arcanine without them, and even survive his Flamethrower, but it knows extreme speed to finish us off. In any case, we're able to push past Blue finally, and now it's on to Red. We're gonna need to be level 100 for sure, so let's do it. So after grinding a bit and using all 8 rare candies that I collected, we're at level 100 and here are our stats going into the final fight against Red. I'm going to honestly try to do this without using Double Team though, so make your guesses down below if you think we can do it, with or without Double Team. So he takes attempt after attempt after attempt. In fact, as you're seeing here on the screen, I spend nearly 30 minutes at 450% speed boost attempting it. He's really rough. Between Reflect and Charm and not getting any luck with our freezes or paralysis, it's just not looking good. I'm really trying to avoid using Double Team here, but we may honestly have to. It's not looking good. But we finally get a run that starts to look promising though. Pikachu is out first like usual, and we outspeed it to land a Blizzard for the one-shot. Espeon is next, and it takes a Blizzard, but we finally get the lucky freeze and we start up a rollout. A crit on the second one takes down the Espeon. Snorlax is next, and it takes the 3rd stage rollout, but just sets up Amnesia. With no Reflect from the Espeon in play, our 4th stage rollout is enough to take out the Snorlax. Venusaur is out next, and our 5th stage rollout lands for the one-shot. Charizard is next, and a Thunder brings it to red health, while it lands Flamethrower for a bit of over a third of our own health. We fortunately land the next Thunder to bring it down. Blastoise is out last, and our first Thunder misses, but as if out of pity, Blastoise sets up a Rain Dance, a move that allows Thunder to hit with 100% accuracy. We do get hit with a boosted Surf from the Rain Dance, but our now 100% accurate Thunders hit, and we finally beat Red. And we did it all without the help of Double Team. That was nice. We actually surprisingly needed Double Team for Blue, but not for Red, interestingly enough. But there you go, folks. Thanks for watching. That sub count is climbing pretty nicely. We're up over 300 now, but the analytics still say over half of you watching aren't subbed, so if you like the video, please subscribe. It pleases Algorithm, god of the YouTube algorithms, and makes me happy too. In any event, I'm not sure what the next challenge is, but I'm thinking of something other than a solo run for a change. But we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and go catch 'em all.